All right, bang, bang. Today is Wednesday. It's March 29th. Welcome to the Dog Walk presented by Barstool Sports. Free Swim Wednesday. It's myself, it's Chief, it's Danny, and Danny is having a crisis because he says the room smells like chicken noodle soup.
I think this guy's losing his mind.
I think someone upstairs is making soup. You guys' smelling is so bad from this weekend. Just
Neither
it's
are-
being
Dentist
old in
office
general.
upstairs.
They can't eat on the job?
Oh, they can eat on the job. They probably bring microwaves.
Oh, I just got that whiff.
Thank you. Yeah, you guys are making me go crazy. This is Chief's favorite smell, mirepoix, whatever you call it. You can't even smell it.
We're in a COVID box? I don't know. Maybe like,
Here, you smell it. It's just coming through the vent. It's not a big deal, but it became a big deal once everyone was like, what the fuck are you smelling? It was
all
so
right.
pungent.
Well, welcome to the show. You guys,
Now it's like, do I smell that?
I hope there's an inception and someone listening is making chicken noodle soup and they're like, whoa.
yeah, whoa.
The
get
podcast is coming from inside the house.
Yeah, they get that random horror movie nosebleed
Yeah.
all of a sudden.
Yeah, dude. That would
First
be
ever
awesome.
podcast with going for three senses at a time.
That would be amazing.
Yeah.
That would be great.
I've always said the next big thing is sending scents. You can send smells.
That's
That's a thing. Yeah, kind of.
like you can't text a smell.
yeah.
But like scratch off stickers, sniff and scratch.
Like Eddie's still using the fucking mail so people can smell what he smells.
Well,
Eddie still got stink bombs in his back pocket.
I do wonder if we'll get to the point
Pooping
where
in
we could
urinals.
send. That was one time.
People don't forget.
I do wonder if we could.
One time on this trip to Arizona, Eddie pooped in a urinal.
That's not true. It was 7th grade, and it was for a gag. It was just a little prank for the 8th graders. It was like their last week.
All right, kid, you're in.
A little prank. I do wonder if women will be able to bottle up actual smells instead of artificial ones. Like, you ever get a candle and you're excited for it because they bottled something up and it's just not it?
Yeah. Well, that's like same thing like when you drink wine and like snooty people are like, oh, there's like hints of oak and like whispers of cinnamon and
Oh, I never get
a
that.
raspberry aftertaste.
Does yours taste this earthy?
Yeah, it's the terroir, and you're just like, I don't know, it tastes red.
Yeah.
And but I feel like, yeah, you're right. Like the candles, it's like, you know which one does hit though? Is the one that's supposed to smell like fresh linen. That's like a fucking great one.
They nailed that one?
Yeah, I think so.
Like the I guess in a different application, the car wash, new car smell, air freshener.
Yeah.
Doesn't
Not even
hit.
close.
Yeah,
Not even close, dude.
And you would think that would be kind of the easiest one.
It's basically just
It's just chemicals that make the new car smell new, right? I mean,
it's mostly just leather, correct?
To play
but it doesn't
contrarian.
really smell like leather. Like leather, like you put a baseball mitt up to your face, like that does not smell like new car.
Yeah.
They did make some great smells though. Like watermelon doesn't actually smell that pungent, but they make it better.
Yeah,
You
you're
know,
right.
in the-
that's it.
Right.
In the car wash. Or
Where did that come from? Why did someone just make watermelon all delicious
Who
smelling?
would have ever thought that watermelon was a good enough smell for like a candle, car wash thing, whatever to begin with?
Cucumber.
Cucumber.
Yeah.
Okay.
You haven't seen that?
The
Okay.
air freshener. I'm trying to get on board with it. I don't like
I
cucumbers that much.
got candle brain. I've seen cucumber
Oh,
candle.
okay.
Yeah, some cucumber melon candle.
All right.
Yeah, it's good.
Yes,
I'll
okay.
look into it.
Okay.
Okay. It's just no agreement. It's just okay.
I don't want to lie.
Yeah.
Appreciate that.
How you guys feeling? I think it was it's been a gradual like coming back to our life after our Arizona trip this weekend.
Yeah, I haven't recovered yet. I'm pretty tired.
Yeah.
We did a podcast over Zoom yesterday that I would say that was one of my worst performances brain wise. Go listen to it. But I was just not like
really
it's one of-
selling promo.
Yeah, well now it's like you can check it out and see how poorly I performed. But it was just like the synapses when you're just fucking dragging ass and 3 hours of sleep a night, travel, all that. Just alcohol. I had probably copious amounts of alcohol, maybe a little too much on this trip, and it showed. It showed yesterday, and I'm still kind of dragging a little bit today.
I'm currently drinking a BioLite, and I have been with like most meals. So if that answers your question,
There you go. There you go.
it's just the sleep. Like I don't even think I went that hard in drinking, but like the last night I got an hour of sleep maybe.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, yeah, we had a 7 a.m. flight home. And just trying to corral a whole crew. It's hard enough to get yourself to a 7 a.m. flight.
Oh, yeah.
But trying to corral a whole crew in a minivan to go to the airport at 5 a.m. was a process.
So I came down the stairs and I saw Ed sitting there with his bag and no one else down there. And I came down like 5:04 or something like that.
And I said 5 sharp in the living room.
Yeah. And then nobody else Dan didn't wake up for another half an hour. And
we'll get there.
Yeah. But yeah, I was like, oh fuck, like this is because I set like a 4:50 alarm, and then I'm like, I did like a sweep, and it took me a little bit to get the room cleaned up, packed up, but yeah, that's tough. And then you just hop on the highway, and we're going to return the rental car, and you're about to go over the what do you call the little strips? Whoa!
Well, it was a speed bump that he thought was a spike strip.
No, it was a spike strip.
It was a spike
but
strip.
He thought we were like. They say don't back up over them, but like you drive over them. Like Dave just was convinced that we're just gonna have 4 flat tires.
Yeah, and if everybody knows what we're talking about,
fucking Need for Speed, and
he thought we were going the wrong exit, not the entrance.
When you return a rental car, you got to go over the spike strip. But if you go the opposite way, it'll pop all your tires.
Right.
And I'm about to go over this thing. We're pressing it a little bit, like whatever.
Yeah.
And Dave's whoa, and he just fucking
you like hit
holds
the brake.
his arm. I'm like, dude, what? And he's like, oh, never mind. I thought you were going to pop all tires.
Yeah.
We did not, though.
So I set an alarm for 4:30, 4:40, and another one for like 4:50. Didn't hear any of them. Chief just opened my door. It was already 5, and I see that he's like fully dressed, backpack on. I'm still in my boxers.
Dude.
I was the scared straight mean kid just getting out of bed.
It was like 5:20.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, fuck. I try putting on my contacts, can't get them in. I say, fuck it, raw dogging. And I'm pretty blind. So when I don't have my contacts in, my day gets 60% harder. So from there, we get to the airport, and Tom's like, yo, I need one of you to check these camera bags, or else it's going to be an unnecessary huge charge.
Yeah.
It's like, fuck it, fine. Tom developed this problem with his phone in Arizona where the light doesn't go up at all. Therefore, he can't scan things on his phone. So he already had the process done where his bags were scanned, but he couldn't do it through the app because the app couldn't pick up his tab. So he had to then do it manually. We're about to board in 5 minutes. Had to then do it manually. Tom goes to pay with his card, realizes that at the bar before, the bartender gave him the wrong card back. It's someone else's card. And I have to do shit on the kiosk screen, and I can't see shit. I'm like, Tom, you need to read this for me because I don't have my contacts in because they're shriveled up, one behind my eyelid probably right now. And then by the grace of God, I managed to get to the line in time to see the guy tell White Sox Dave that in fact he cannot bring 2 rollies on.
We gotta save some of this.
We gotta save some of that for the mid show because we record these before we record Tuesday's mid show, so this is where it gets kind of
That's all I said, and that's all I wanted to say.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So, but it's like Inception or not Inception, but it's like Freaky Friday. Go listen to yesterday.
Yeah, That's So Raven flashback.
I got a lot to say about Dave's performance out there, so I'll say that.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. All right. So we'll save that for that. This is good, though, because I want this to be like kind of a continuation of Tuesday's mid show to here. So we're trying to like interweave both of our shows.
Also, like, you kind of owe me one. I was like, when I woke you up, when I opened the door and you were like under the covers, and I'm like, hey, it's time to go. And I walk back down, and Ed's like, "Is what's the deal with Dan? Like, is he coming?" He's like, "Oh yeah, he's almost ready." I
appreciate that.
I heard multiple alarms going off upstairs, so I knew someone was just in the everlasting loop of snooze it buttons.
Yeah,
and I thought it was Tom, but
dude, it was minus 10,000 that it was Tom.
Yeah, exactly. But and then Tom came down, and then you were the only one up there. I was like, "Oh damn!" So that's why when it came to the tripod, I'm like, "Dude, I was like, I'm getting on this flight." I was the only one ready.
Oh, yeah. I dusted you guys. I got on I don't know what happened, but I turned around and nobody was behind me. I'm like, I don't care. I'm just gonna keep walking.
Yeah.
To be fair, I was probably plus 250 for that to be me.
That's surprising because I don't think I've ever traveled with you before.
I'm not a late guy and I hate it, but I literally fell asleep at probably like 3:30.
Yeah.
So I was first hour into the sleep. I was in the REM cycle. Didn't hear anything. I knew I should have just waited.
That's one. I do wish. I wish we could talk about what we were talking about late night, but maybe we should clear it and just make sure that everything's fine.
Yeah. We will.
Because that's like a good discussion.
It's a very good discussion.
Yeah.
I had something in the same vein, and it had nothing to do with that. It was about a conversation I had with other people.
Bring it up then.
But just-
Does it apply? Is it fine? Does it apply?
Yeah, it's applicable.
All right, bring it up.
So I was at this party at a bar, and there's some kids there through family friends I know, and there's like probably like 4 or 5 of them. They're all like 24 years old, and there was 5 of them, and 4 of them were next to me at the time. We're just chopping it up. One of them makes like a joke under their breath. The rest of them laugh. I'm like, what was that about? And basically, they said they have this ongoing thing where one guy in their friend group is pretty much prematurely calling dibs on a girl. A girl they just met. So, like, mind you, they're not talking like going to the club and being like, oh, her. It's like these are just like blue collar, regular, chill guys. Sometimes, when one of their girlfriends brings around a new friend, everyone's eyes light up.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden, he's just like, dibs, and they're like, we don't care enough to be like, you can't do that. But at the same time, it's like, I know I just talked to this girl. I could have easily got her before you.
Yeah. I think
Thoughts?
that's one of those things where it's like, if you're calling dibs, it better be like Robin Williams, a good one. Like, I got to go see about a girl. Like, it's like, this is like my vision. And I feel like you can pull that card like once or twice every 5 years.
So for the sake of the hypothetical, it wasn't like an aggressive like dibs boys. It was like telling all his friends like, yo, I think I'm gonna like go talk to that girl. So it makes you'd kind of feel bad if you were the friend and be like, that's what I mean by dibs. I don't know if anyone's really calling dibs besides like Jersey Shore guys.
Just depends on how often he does it.
I asked all these questions. They said, well, again, it depends on like the right time and place. If there happens to be like, a new girl, friend of the group there, a friend's friend. So they said this had actually been that night he did it. So that had been the 3rd time within like probably, I don't know, a couple months.
Oh, that's too often.
That's
like 6 months.
That's too much.
Yeah. But again, he's kind of just, he's not being aggressive, but he's doing it in a way where the friends would probably feel bad if they started talking to the girl instead.
Yeah, but at some point, you said they're 24.
Yeah.
See, I feel like that's like, I'm so far removed, because I'm fucking old as shit, from being 24. I've faced so much rejection from women in my life now that it just does not faze me. But I remember feeling like it probably at that age where you're like, you have to like summon up the courage to go like talk to a girl. And it's like, it might take you a while to like, and maybe a few drinks to get to the point. So it's like, you kind of, I don't know, maybe you say it and then like, you don't actually do something for like 2 hours, So like that I can understand. But I also kind of want to be like, if you want to go talk to that girl, then just go up and talk to her. And then you don't have to worry about like calling dibs. But I feel like maybe that's just like the old guy talking now.
No, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it for sure. I don't think that, well.
What?
God, what?
Oh, and I was going to refer back to the conversation we were going to have. But
we'll have that next week.
I think that, that's a pretty different conversation.
Yeah,
too.
it is different,
yeah. No, it is.
Yeah. Now you're
how bad? Here, put it this way: how bad do you feel if you're one of the friends and you do end up talking to this girl that this guy, quote unquote, dibsed?
The third one, not at all.
Not at all.
I just like, dude, like you can't just be like, I got the Cook County. Like, like you can't do that.
Yeah, the friends though, they just seem like pretty laid back guys, or like they would value his friendship over like a random girl, obviously. But they're just like, what the fuck? It's the principle.
Did you have a friend like this when you were younger?
No. Did you?
I did. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. He was pretty girl crazy, and it always kind of morphed into
one of those heterosexuals.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he was just like, he was just always on to the next, and it was always like, all right, well,
yeah, say something to the rest of us.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But
I don't. Yeah. Well, I was like such a pussy when I was younger, so I would never even like. I don't know. It would be like stupid for me to be like to call dibs because it's like, what am I going to do with that? Then at the end of the night, just nobody has talked to her.
Yeah. They're all swarming her like a vulture, waiting for you.
Yeah, I don't know. It's an interesting discussion. I think it's a young man's game, like Chief just said.
Yeah.
I don't think that really. Yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's definitely older guys who are doing that shit, but
I think if you get to like 26 and you're still doing that, then it's like you're weird. But I remember like being,
Again, They're not like aggressively being like, that's mine.
I know.
They're kind of just telling her like, hey man, I think I'm going to talk to that girl later. And then for you to start talking to her after they tell you that, you just feel like.
Totally. But they're also like, they're not aggressively doing it, but it's passive aggressively doing it.
Sure.
Like they're laying
24-year-old.
Yeah.
And I also think it depends on how much the guy has success with women.
Yeah, right. Is he Fonz or is he fucking
correct.
So what are you saying though? So it does, if it's Fonz, he doesn't get to call dibs.
Correct. Yes. Yeah. Fonz does not get the call. Fonz is like he walks up to the plate and he like closes his eyes and he gives it a check swing home run every night. You know. But if we're talking Kevin Malone, where it's just nice to win one. Yeah. Like that guy, maybe you should give him a dibs once in a while.
Yeah. Once in a while.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
You should also like the Fonz should look out for Kevin. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like your Minkus, whatever we're going with there.
This is also like, do you remember? We had Jeremy Piven. He'll be coming on the mid show sometime soon. But so I've been rewatching Entourage. But it was like the time where
Turtle and Dramo.
No, Eric and who is like the hottest Sloan, and they meet at that bar mitzvah, and then Vince starts like hitting on her for spite, and he's just like, "What the fuck, man?" Like that's kind of like if you're, like that's what you're saying. Like, hey, if you just gotta have every girl anytime you want, then you just. You have to respect the one time I'm like, hey, could you chill? Yeah,
that's the problem. You're right, is because it depends on how. I would guess if the guy is calling dibs, he probably does not do that well.
You know who's like, right? Yeah,
that's fair.
I would guess. You know who's like sneaky has always been like very. Like generous makes it sound like a creepy thing, but like and like I hate the term wingman too. Scott Darling.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because he's like this 6'6", millionaire, pro athlete. And I remember like being out with him, 2015, 16, when he's like, a very well-known figure about town. And I was like a lowly part-time blogger. And we would be out and he would be just like, oh, like chief, like he like runs the like talk about me like as if I was Portnoy.
That's nice.
Yeah, it was super nice. And then I'd be like, he's lying. It's actually not true. Yeah. But I appreciated that from Scott. Like that's like he could, he's like one of those at that time. He probably could have had whoever, but he was just like, to his boys. He was good about that.
Yeah. It gets competitive for some people.
Totally.
But it shouldn't be that way.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's a good question though, Dan.
Yeah.
Don't thank me. Thank the 24-year-olds.
Are they like totally out on this guy or?
No, not at all.
Yeah.
Just like some of them are even like kind of nerdy, and it just becomes more about the principle.
Mm-hmm. I also think that there are some things that I will like go along with just to be able to tease that guy about it. Like, you got dibs, and like that becomes like more fun than I would ever be angry about him calling dibs. But as long as I'm allowed to make fun of you for it, then I'll probably go along for the ride.
But I'm telling you, I think the dibs guy has like a lot more going on.
Totally, and that's fine. But I still want to be able to like kind of poke you about it.
Yeah,
and and then you also have to just be like okay about that, about being poked.
Yeah, it's not about the dibs; it's about like the dominance.
Yeah, there's like there's something going on in the brain.
A deeper layer there.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I empathize with the dibs guy.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
But you wouldn't want to be the dibs guy either.
No, I don't. Unless if like. I think rare situations when you're like, all right, I gotta,
No, it's like if it's like like Apollonia in The Godfather, where it's like you got hit by a bolt of lightning when she just walked by. Like if it's like a once in a blue moon situation where you're like, holy shit, that could be my wife.
You're a big door trick guy, right?
What's a door trick?
Like,
are you setting me up for some fucking bullshit? All right, let's hear what the door trick is.
I am.
Welcome to my life.
I used to do this in dating all the fucking time.
You could tell that curled up smile, that Grinch smile.
You ever seen A Bronx Tale?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Where it's like, here's what you got to do. You got to get out of your car. You got to open the door for the girl.
Yeah.
And then make sure you lock the door right after. And by the time you get around the car, if she doesn't open your door, this is back in the day when you had to reach over and like lift it up.
Yeah.
Get rid of her. She's selfish. She don't care about you. Like whatever.
Yeah.
And I remember I saw this one of those weird kids from high school post that scene like 2 years ago.
Oh.
And I'm like we're like, dude. They don't fucking. It's automatic cars.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
they don't-
outdated.
Like and he's like, I do this every time or something like that. It's like, no, you don't.
I dated a girl for 4 years, girl of my dreams, and I saw Bronx Tale, and she didn't do that, and I broke up with her right away.
Exactly.
But no, have we talked about this on this show, Ed? I basically have amnesia at this point. I think it's weird. Like, I think at this age, I mean, it's become weird if you like walk up to a girl's doorstep on the first day. Like, that's too aggressive. Back in the day, have we talked about this on here already? Probably
not that I recall. What do you mean, like to
Like
pick her
back-
up for a date?
like
They
back-
don't want that though.
Right. Like back in the day, it was like if this guy is not coming up to our doorstep, if she like lives with her parents, say on the first day, then like he's a piece of shit. But now it's like way too aggressive to be meeting her parents on a first date.
I'll go even one step further than that.
Are you dating a lot of girls that still live with their parents?
No, I'm just saying back in the day, like, or even like say her friends on the first date is too aggressive.
I'll make it.
You should just be meeting nowadays you meet at a bar.
I will make it easier than that.
Okay.
Picking her up before
Yeah. Right.
is an easier, more simplified thing where they don't even want that anymore.
No, it's a torture chamber on the car ride to the bar, like you just met or
And-
you haven't even met, basically.
Oh,
And if you're-
you have to, yeah.
And if you're like a weirdo, they don't have a quick eject. You know, they
Right.
can't like bolt right after the drinks. They gotta
Yeah.
go. You know, and they
Yeah.
don't know the guy. Who
You're
knows if
going
he's
nowhere.
a weirdo? You are kind of, in a sense, captured in that vehicle.
Is it how many dates before you do offer? Like, oh, I'll scoop you.
Even
I
one.
think
Even one.
I think one. You're
One's
good. dude.
Yeah.
good. So date 2, you could be like, I'll Uber to your place. We go.
Yeah, but it's
Yes.
kind of weird because I've had before where the girl was impressed that I offered to pick her up. And then I did that, and she was like, "Oh, like guys don't do that anymore. Like,
Chivalry's
yada,
dead,
yada."
man. Men are trash.
I know that's what she said.
But
I've
then
had
if you show up at her door, you're also a creep.
yeah, exactly,
So it's like,
exactly.
You gotta read every situation.
Then I've had before where I offered, and I was like, "Oh no, like I'll just meet you there." And then after she's like, "Oh yeah," like, and then she kind of explained that to me. She's like, "Oh no, you're cool, but
Yeah.
here's why, girl." And I'm like, "Oh, that fucking makes sense." It clicked.
Yeah.
It clicked.
Yeah.
She probably doesn't want you seeing like her apartment, even from the porch on the first day.
Yeah, I
That's
mean, I'm
moving too
not
quick.
walking up, dude. Like, you don't.
That's just
get
honking
serious.
the horn.
I'm
So
not-
what, you're in the driveway?
He's
Bro, I'm
honking
not-
the Tesla
I'm not
horn.
parallel
Hey,
parking, and I'm
Yeah.
not getting out and possibly walking up 3 floors. You know what I mean?
He's got his hazards on, just double parked.
Yeah, exactly. Just fucking recline the seat, check Twitter.
I do think that was a thing like in high school though. Like if you were taking a girl out, you go up to her door
Yeah,
because then it's like, I don't know. I would feel like a pussy if I did.
Agreed.
So but now like
one thing that I will say that is like a nice advantage of this job though, where it's like, hey, like at least I'm probably not a murderer.
Probably.
And B, like obviously you don't know for sure. There are people who whatever have been fucking heinous motherfuckers.
yeah, or
But-
guys that will do like stakeouts or like things like
but B, if I am, I'm pretty fucking easy to find. We all,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like we all are at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah. Well,
It's it's a gift and a curse. They know too much about you already.
Correct. That is a curse as well.
all right. So
Oh, he's got some.
I-
Oh, this
This-
is borderline
say
too
it,
personal
pussy.
for content, but here we go.
do you know what I'm saying?
No, but I know that face.
Yeah, that's exactly that face.
Yeah.
He's about to talk about how he just loves when a tongue gets shoved in his ear. That's that face.
God.
A girl saw that. It was sent to her.
Oh, is that what you were gonna say?
Yeah.
Oh.
That's what I was gonna say. It's too
I was just
personal.
fucking with
I
you,
know. But like then it's like this is one of those things where it's like I just feel like I should say shit for the entertainment value of it. But I had talked to this girl like once and said that on a clip. Said that on the podcast, like if you guys remember, it was just last week, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then she sent me a text being like, "You like it when girls kiss your ear?" And I was like, "That's weird." I'm like, did I what? Like, what? And I'm like, oh my, like, is that a random question? Because we hadn't like talked about like what my job is really. And I'm like, is that a random question? Because I just had said that like within the last 72 hours or whatever it was. And she goes, no, actually, like, haha, like my brother sent it to me. And I was like, oh fuck, like this is not great. So I told myself after that, because I talked to Eddie about it, I'm like, I'm gonna keep things to do a better job of keeping things like this to myself. And then this was the first opportunity to not do that, and I couldn't help it. I just like walk right through the door and said,
Let's say hi to her brother right now on camera.
yeah. What's up?
It's impossible not to, though, dude.
Yeah.
You have to like talk about some stuff.
Yeah, I think there's church and state, and we all kind of know what those.
But
like if you had brought that up without talk, like if you had said it, like because I told you about it, then I would be like, Eddie, come on. But nah, if I say it, just like I just have to say
and
it.
I truthfully didn't know you were going to do that. I just kind of jumped into it.
You didn't think I was that stupid, but
No,
here I am.
No.
Yeah.
However, but that is applicable towards anything. Like you could say like, oh, I think
Barada is a great outdoor.
I think Ian Mitchell should have played more last night. Like hypothetically, she could say that.
Yeah.
So what are you going to just say nothing?
Mm-hmm. This girl would not say that.
But I'm just saying. Like there's
no, totally.
There's
totally.
no bar on that.
Yeah.
You can't. I don't think you can think that way.
No, I know.
You just have to live your life under the guise of.
Well, and that's why, like, I always say that it's good. Like, I can't, and not that I'm like, I couldn't even do it if I wanted to, but I don't really like play a character in this job. This is just kind of who I am. So if I say it on here, I definitely think it in real life. So it's not something that I have to be like, well, like I didn't really mean that. I'm like, nah, I fucking meant that. Like I said that and I meant that.
Mm-hmm.
So
I do like ear nibbles. I fucking meant that.
that was super.
You're
awkward,
gonna get
though.
a rando ear nibble.
Oh,
like
yeah.
I'm very confident in that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hopefully from a girl.
Yeah,
Would be great. Yeah.
Not
Oh
just
my God.
a stoolie on the sidewalk.
I would not hate just a dude in a fucking Urlacher jersey. You turn around and it was him nibbling your ear.
biting
That-
Chief's lobe
I
off.
would have
Like
a-
Chief's looking like Scott Darling's ear. Actually.
It's so funny, dude.
Yeah.
I love that. I don't. It's just part of the.
This
And it's,
fucking
yeah,
weird
it's not
job.
even that crazy, really. You're just kind of like saying, "Oh, I like a nice ear nibble."
I
like
just
doing
feel like
this.
we're making too much of like now. It's like I'm like the ear guy. I'm like I got like an ear fetish. I think I like it in an appropriate amount sometimes. Okay?
Yeah. So like when you look at a picture, do you look at girls' ears?
No, I don't like to do it. I actually
you
find
don't?
it. No.
Oh,
He wants
really?
his ears
Yeah.
nibbled.
Yeah, I know, but I'm
Yeah.
just saying.
No, because you know what?
So is there something about like the tongue? Like you're like,
It's
oh,
not
that,
even.
that tongue would.
You
like,
know what?
That tongue would look unbelievable on my ear.
I'm gonna retire from free swims. I think.
Do you like make sure to wash your lobes and ears before any dates, just in case?
I think I have like the appropriate amount of hygiene all over my body. Yeah,
That's fair.
I think ears are in a weird place in society right now
why is that?
because the old Q-tip debacle.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like that's a new finding. Maybe like 10 years old, if that.
Yeah.
Where they're like, hey, Q-tips, don't be using those. You're just shoving it back in there. Not good for your cavity.
I get those ads on TikTok all the time. Be like, shoot this water gun in your ear instead
Yeah.
of using a Q-tip. But I use Q-tips. I got a
Yeah.
little jar right next to right on my sink.
Does you have to? Where is that? How is that?
Dude, do you know how disgusting that is to like, have you ever seen like, I haven't seen it in like person in a long time, but I feel like when you were growing up in middle school and stuff, there would be like the random kid that just had like disgusting amounts of earwax in his ears.
Yes. Like
it's like, what are you
noticeable,
like raising yourself? Like what's going on?
noticeable earwax that you could get with a Q-tip.
Yes.
Not
Yeah.
like the weird rocks that happen.
But
to
it's
be in
also
the
one of those
fucking
things where it's kind of like a booger. If someone has it, I think, because you can't really
ears.
tell.
No.
Unless if it's like super caked, maybe.
I think the booger is just like,
It's like spinach between your teeth. The
Yeah,
booger, they don't
like,
know. It's harmless. We all get boogers, but
How often do you clean your ears then? How often do you use Q-tips?
every day.
every day.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
like right after I get out of the shower.
Yeah.
'Cause
It's
I
like,
got-
it's like a ritual.
It's for me. It's not even cleaning it. It's almost like I hate the feeling of water in my ear. So it's almost like I use the Q-tip to like dry. You know, like I don't feel
kinda
like
just-
yeah,
yeah,
and
yeah,
I feel
yeah.
like because I do it so much, like I don't get like the wax buildup.
And I don't, it's like almost having a bat in the cave. Like I don't know what's going on in there, so I'm going to give it a rub just in case. I just have
Yeah.
some
Because
bad
I
poking
don't. I
out.
do it like every other day, every couple days. And I feel like, because when I do it every day, I feel like you don't get anything.
Yeah, that's fine. That's
Yeah, but
fine.
I don't really want to get anything. I think it's the point.
Right.
Like you
For
stay,
sure,
you
for
stay
sure.
ahead of it. Like every once in a while, you get like a
Yeah.
good swipe, and you're like, ugh, like that's fucking
Yeah.
gross.
Yeah,
So,
if I see the littlest touch of like brown, I'm like, oh my god.
yeah, like
Yeah.
I'm a heathen.
Because it's not a hard thing to do. It's not like I'm avoiding it.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It's not
But
like
it's
Q-tips
just-
are expensive.
Yeah. Exactly. So, I don't know.
What were we saying right before that?
We don't have to talk about that.
Oh, that's right.
About what was it?
No, let's just change course.
All right, I got something.
Let's hear.
Like, what was it though?
Ear man.
Yeah,
We're talking about the ear thing again. I would like to thought we'd transition nicely away from that, and then Danny's trying to get me back in like the Terror Dome.
I think I was just gonna say that at this rate, it's gonna be like people are gonna be like disgusted if you don't use the new and advanced ear cleaning devices. Like you only use Q-tips. You know, it's like not flossing or not being. It's not hygienic if you don't have the fucking ear cam seeing all your wax and pulling your rocks out, like Donnie did in the Dominican. Sorry, we're going off ears now.
Well,
or China, sorry.
All that favorite sketch, Ear Boy?
I don't remember that.
No, you don't remember that?
No.
Josh, whatever his name was.
Josh Peck.
I'm not. It's not. I don't have an ear fetish. It's just like one of those things. It's like
and to be clear, we're giving you shit. It's not uncommon.
Of course not.
It's not uncommon.
Yeah.
It's
and I'm not like. I'm not saying like I want my ear French kissed. The opposite. I don't like the feeling of liquid in my ears. That's why I use Q-tips. But there is something about where you get a little nibble and it's just like, all right, let's go.
Chief at getting swimmer's ear after a nice makeout session. But no, I get it. It's like it insinuates goosebumps.
Yeah, it's a little
Gets
makeout
the gooses
thing.
bumping. Yeah, gets you in the mood.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so Chief is not an ear guy. Go on, Eddie.
To help you to get out of this, Chief, we'll end on
We
this.
were out of it. We were out of it.
I don't know. I don't know if there's more to really dissect from this, but it's just an observation I had. This is like kind of an observational show. Have you noticed that like drive-through places have pulled the plug on the pay window?
It's, as opposed to like now they're going like the Portillo's model. Like we did you're talking like that because that was in it was like that when we went to that coffee place in Arizona.
Yes,
You're talking usually there's one window you pay, the next window you get the food. You're saying it's all in one now.
Yes, I feel like.
Do you think that's like an employment thing? Like we can't hire enough people?
I think probably, and I think they probably realized like, hey, it's kind of inefficient.
Yeah.
I always assumed that they did the two windows because it was efficient.
That's what I thought too. But maybe there was a new study where they're like, hey, it's not that hard. Just take the card, swipe it, hand it out.
You think the reason they did that was ever because they didn't want the same people handling the money, handling the food?
I mean, most shit's cashless now. So.
But are they even handling the food? Because they're just getting the final bag. It's not like they're putting like each chicken nugget in there.
No, at some places like Wendy's or Taco Bell,
I don't go to those.
You'll see those. Chief's never been to either. Insane.
I haven't.
You'll see the same person who is taking your cash card or whatever, also like putting that final bag of fries in your bag and handing it to you. So yeah.
Maybe.
But I doubt that was the
talking
reason.
about,
But
right?
yeah, there's probably more of a. It's probably more necessary. I bet like one of the bigger places like McDonald's who would actually need it started it and just became unnecessary ever since.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Well,
think
like
so.
Right.
Portillo's, at least the ones out by me in St. Charles, like we would have like 4 people regardless of the weather.
Yeah.
Manning the like they would take it and then you would drive up. Someone would take your order, then you would drive up to a next person who was also not at a window, and they would take your money, and then you would drive up to the window like eventually. It was
Those
crazy.
are the big dogs who have massive crowds that like try to just fend people off because it's legit like the Braveheart scene, and they're just trying to hold.
They're drive-through dominant.
Correct.
Yeah.
It's like Portillo's, Chick-fil-A,
Chick-fil-A
In and
does it
Outs
too,
like that. Dutch Bros where we went on Sunday or whatever. Like they have the little iPads and they're just trying to get ahead of the storm.
Cranking it, yeah.
But a lot of places now, it's just like they'll have these windows just blocked now.
Yeah, they got a piece of plywood over the first window.
Exactly, yeah.
It's like I wonder like when they start building new locations, are they just gonna wipe out that second window completely?
Yeah.
R.I.P. the second drive-through window, man.
Yeah, for sure.
Or the first drive-through window, depending on how you look at it.
I know, right?
It's all about perspective.
I know. That makes you think like there's not going to be as many swipes.
That is interesting.
Smash and grab.
What are they doing with that area now? The area where the first window was occupied, or just a register?
Just brick it up.
The ice cream area.
Yeah. Just brick it up and put some buns there or something.
Yeah.
Did you guys Did you ever do that thing where people would run by and they'd steal the food?
No. I had some morals.
Something tells me this guy did.
I didn't do it personally.
You just drove the getaway car. It wasn't me.
I was not driving. Sometimes you're just an accomplice and you're just, whatever.
A hostage, if you will.
Correct. Yeah.
I'm surprised I never did that, to be honest, though.
I'm kind of surprised. I obviously would never do that because I was a giant pussy who has morals. But you,
I've done worse, just not that.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're keen to it though. They know what's going on.
Yeah.
It was very much like right away. They're like, all right, like, you swear you didn't know that guy? We're like, no. And he's like, we're like, yeah, see, meet you around the corner, bud.
Yeah, we're just like in the safest neighborhood in Chicago. This has never happened before. The kid who ran by happened to be wearing like the same sweater I am, same age. But I don't know that guy.
Yeah. Exactly. But
St. Pat's class of 2000. Yeah.
That would be a grade school thing for me, if anything.
But you didn't have cars at that point.
Man, you could find someone who did that.
Because you got to know the people in the car because then you get a double meal. That's how they used to do. Like I said, I've only seen it done once.
My friends would have been wild enough to like be waiting in the drive-through line, disguised as one of like a drive-through employee on rollerblades or something like we were just talking about, and then like negotiate with the driver, being like, "Hey, you get a free meal, I get a free meal."
You ever just walk through a drive-through late night because you didn't have a car?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they don't let you.
I know. I've done it once before, but yeah, there was like a whole Curb Your Enthusiasm sketch about that.
And they say it's like unsafe. It's like, dude, what do you mean?
Yeah.
What's different when we walk? I mean, I get it. Some people may be, on phones and shit nowadays, but they haven't been allowing that shit for years.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's stupid.
It's a walk-up window, dude.
You have to be like within the weight of a car for the sensor to even go off, for them to even ask what you want.
Yep.
So naturally, we got 10 kids. Still wasn't enough for the weight of a car.
Yeah. I don't know. It is what it is. All right then, guys.
All right.
Great to talk. We'll be,
Harry,
we'll
edit
be
all
nice.
that out in post, please.
We'll be nice and recharged next week. But
Yes.
even though I still had a fun time today.
Just we'll make the title our ears the new feet in terms of kinks. But no, say if that girl's watching this, we're sorry. We're just playing around.
It's over.
Apologies.
End the show. Thanks.
All right, everybody. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Don't forget Taxi Driver tomorrow.
Oh.
Watch the movie. Watch the movie tonight. We're going to talk about it tomorrow. Hey, that's what it's from. I don't know much about the scene except he says it in front of the window or the mirror. Sorry. All right, everybody. We will see you tomorrow.